I trade spot and futures on BYDFi, and if you want to set up an account now, send me a message once you've created your account with your username and UID on Telegram, and I'll put you into a randomly selected prize draw. I've got $10, $20 and $50 gift cards to give out, which basically go against your trading fees, giving you free trading fees basically until the gift cards run out. BYDFi.
Hello everybody, welcome back. Let's have a look at a handful of altcoins. So all of these, the ones that I'm looking at, are part of my portfolio. And again, you know, whether you love them or hate them, and to be fair with you, I think the ones that I'm bringing up now, the ones I'm going to talk about now, are largely hated. They're not very popular. They've never been very popular. They're not cool. But you know what? I don't care about what's cool. So let's have a look at those guys then, shall we? Obviously, my portfolio is quite a lot larger when it comes to hodl bags. Some of these are hodl bags, and we'll go through them, but the majority of the ones I'm going to talk about here are trades rather than hodl. So let's get started with a bit of Bitcoin. What are you doing at the moment? So Bitcoin today, so far, and again, it's only just started really. It's only 10 o'clock. We're trying to break through on this 10 exponential, this 20 simple, and we're above the 20 exponential as well. So it does look like classic breakout really at this stage now. It's not broken out, but it does look like it's going to break out. Let's have a look at momentum. Not very convincing on MACD and RSI, but the money flow index is breaking out. Let's have a look over here. So we're turning up towards the 0 point, not quite got it yet. And we did have one drive of bullish divergence, similar to that of Ethereum last week. So it does look pretty good to me. Again, just to reiterate, it hasn't actually broken out yet. But if we were going to break out, if we were going to do a V-shaped recovery and then some, it would be a pullback on this 200 exponential on the daily, which is what we've got, and a springboard from there up to the previous highs. We're talking 44,000 and then beyond. So it does look pretty textbook stuff, to be honest with you. Ethereum obviously did the same thing over here, made the V-shaped recovery and then a new local high. And yeah, as far as Ethereum's concerned, it's made another higher low. So with that, let's have a quick look at the daily. And again, we're just going to be very brief on this. It's actually better than Bitcoin's. It's after the local high came down to retest the Bollinger Band Center, and so far we're above that still. So yeah, it looks quite good. So Bitcoin and Ethereum both look quite good. So that makes it an attractive trading environment. This is what I've been saying while we were away. So long as these two criteria are met, then yeah, all altcoins are in a good place to take their charts seriously. So look at them on face value and trade them appropriately, because this is still good. Bitcoin is still good. As far as I'm concerned, they've not reached their major destinations. So that would be Bitcoin roughly around 48,000 and Ethereum between 2,800 to maybe 3,000, maybe even more, but those would be sort of the next major areas for it. And so we're not there yet. Right, so first on the list, XDC. Let's have a look at that. So it's actually started to make a bit of an attempt now to break out from this giant consolidation, which again, textbook stuff really, although it did get a little messy around here with a giant move up, massive consolidation down to a golden cross retest. And again, and this is, I remember this, we've been talking about this on the live streams for a long time, because I've highlighted XDC as a chart that can do a very big move, but it's failed to do it so far, basically. It's failed to do it so far. And the main thing to think about was that if you were going to try to catch this for an attempt of a big move, it would have been around a 200 exponential or a simple. And we had another chance around here. This is where I took my positions. And then we started to go a little bit further below, and I was definitely worried. I was warning people on the Patreon. I was saying, look, although the setup is technically still valid, if we lose this area, there's only one last place to go, which was on the weekly, which is a 50 exponential, which basically was where we were tagging as well. So as far as this chart is concerned right now, it's in the midst of a breakout. It's made a new local high after this consolidation, so this would suggest the consolidation is now over, and with that we should be looking to make our next massive move, maybe over a couple of weeks, towards 7.2 cent. Now obviously when you look at this you go, oh, that's a high high, I expect a higher high. Of course we would love to see a higher high, and you know what, we actually could. We could see that. We could see this move all the way up to 13.4. We could. But you know me. Resistances are there to be rejected from. And so with every resistance ought to be some take profit strategy. You don't have to go all out, but yes, something should happen. You shouldn't go crazy. We are looking to close this week with a histogram tick on the weekly green above the 0 point, which actually would be pretty bullish, to be fair. The last time we did something like this was this move here with this green candle body. We were already up a lot, but then we still went from, where were we? 6 cents all the way up to, well, 9.5 cents. So look, these things can be pretty aggressive. This one has proven to be pretty aggressive. It likes to move up massively, quickly, and then consolidate over a long period of time, similar to our friend XRP. So as far as XDC is concerned, yeah, we're hitting the top of the Bollinger Band at the moment. This might be a short-term rejection, but look, as far as trend is concerned, on the weekly, we're above all major moving averages. Daily, also the same. And as far as I'm concerned, this one looks like it wants to continue with a trend. In fact, we do have a trend signal on the Ichimoku cloud that was generated a few days ago, so this could be the one that does take us up to the next sort of local high, you know, above 10 towards 13.5 cents really. So that's good. Now, the moment you've all been waiting for, ICP. ICP, we made this video, didn't we, when we were breaking out for, well, we were moving up to this level. I said, look, there is certainly a change of behavior. What it does immediately is, you know, your guess will be as good as mine. Leading into that pump, there was a problem with the hot wallet on Binance, suggesting that effectively, you know, they're going to need to buy some ICP, and probably quite a lot, being the world's largest crypto exchange. The total and circulating supply are more or less equal now. So as far as the major sellers from the super dump that happened since its inception, well, since it came onto the open market, basically, all the sellers have sold. And so now what we're looking at is a tradable coin with a bit of a liquidity crisis within exchanges, or probably has had a liquidity crisis within the exchanges. And what we're going to do about that? Well, as far as I could tell, the behavior was changing when we were moving up to this level. I was, you know, not concerned, because I'm quite happy to hold this. This is one of my hodl bags. I've been quite clear about this, actually, up until recently. I've been underwater on this one, actually. So, yeah, we've broken out from the main area. And look, the trend is strong. We do have one drive of bearish divergence on the RSI. The money flow index is coming down to reset. There's so much trading volume on this run now. I mean, you would have never imagined that this would have been the case for ICP. It was always uncool. No one likes it. 4 hourly surfing the 50 exponential, which is good. Money flow index is actually getting quite peaky at the moment on the 4 hourly. So a pullback from this level is probably required. If we do get a pullback, what you really want to see is maintain this previous high over here. So we're looking for $11.42 to hold. If it doesn't hold, it's still not a big deal. I would be bullish on this one for, I suppose, large big moves again. Even if we came back to retest the 720, 7 to 740 area, maybe even the $8 area. Let's have a look on the weekly, because this starts to get a little bit weird when you look at it on the weekly because of all the mess in the past. The weekly has generated a trend signal, which basically requires the price to be above the cloud, the blue conversion baseline to take place above the cloud, which it kind of has, and the Chiku span to be above price action. And we'll only cancel out this trend signal if we get the Chiku span close into the price, or the blue across the red. So obviously that would mean that this trend signal is good to maintain a trend above $4.54. Take it for what it is. The main thing to think about would be, all right, how hot are we on the money flow index? We're very hot. This is an area now where you would expect a larger consolidation. So yes, there's a trend signal on a weekly. Yes, it'll be a trend above $4.50. And yes, we are reaching a critical area when it comes to volume. So yes, in simple, I would probably expect this to come down sooner rather than later, but still have changed its behavior. That was the video I made when it happened. I said, look, wherever the price goes from here, doesn't really matter whether it goes up or down. It doesn't really matter in the short term. What really matters is that there is a change of behavior. For the very first time, we've not seen this behavior for ICP ever. And now we are seeing it, and the change of behavior is basically a major breakout, sailing beyond moving averages on weeklies and dailies. Look, this is the first time really that we ever got above this 50 exponential. For what it's worth, we were never above it, and for the most part, we've just been a down-only chart. Now we've actually come out of what would appear to be. I'm just going to have to get rid of this stupid itchy cloud because it cannot handle this chart. We've basically been stuck within this range since we came down in it, and which basically leads us to believe that a major support on this one, with or without a consolidation in the market, is going to be around 740-ish area. Alright, another one, controversial. Here we go, we're talking EOS, baby. So EOS actually hit its first sell target. I brought the EOS back onto the channel not too long ago, and I said, look, there's several things to be bullish about on this chart. First is this falling wedge. We've been stuck in it for a long time, and we broke out from it, and the wedge has a variety of sell targets. So the first one being here, which corresponded to this level, and here, so you can see that there was a lot of resistance within this portion, and we came up to test it. That was the first one. Done. Second one, a major peak over here. We're talking $1.24. Third is all the way up here, more or less where the formation began, which is $1.76. Now, if we take it to a higher term time frame, what have we got going on over here? So the 50 exponential is basically a bit of a problem. This major moving average is all part of a giant death cross. This Binance chart isn't old enough to actually show the death cross, but effectively we could deduce that this is a death cross because we've got the 200 above the 50 and they're both descending down. Now, if we're looking for a change of behavior similar to ICP, you want to see these major moving averages getting reclaimed. And at the moment, this is a resistance. So it adds more weight to the idea that if this resistance breaks, then these areas up here, we're talking $1.20-ish, $1.70-ish, shouldn't be a problem to be taken out quite quickly. Now, look, these things can happen. EOS especially can happen with EOS. I understand why people like to criticize things like this. Oh, EOS, man, it's bloody EOS. I'm not buying EOS. It's all about just a trading setup. It's not. I'm not saying that EOS is going to take over the world or anything like that. I'm just saying, look, from a trading perspective, this is an okay chart, or I believe it to be an okay chart to have traded. I'm still in the trade, obviously. I've taken profit on that first sell order. I've got two more above me, and I'm looking for that to continue. We've got golden crosses on simple moving averages and exponential moving averages. Yeah, there is bearish divergence here, but so long as we can hold above 74 cents, and if we do dip down below that, 67 to 68 cents being this 200 simple moving averages, that'd be the last straw. It also highlights the top of this falling wedge pattern. So if it does get tested again, I might actually buy some more for another trade, or just buy back what I sold here just for at least another move back up to the top of this first support range. So EOS is actually good. Right, here we go, another very unpopular coin. I know. This is why my channel never grows, because I don't talk about the things that people want to hear about, because, well, everybody's talking about the cool ones, aren't they? I'm here to fight for the underdog. Right, so we're talking about major move on BSV here. In fact, this first major move, this one here and this one here, which we did get dramatic moves on, they don't even look big anymore because of what's just happened. It's just general continuation. So, how did we play this initially? So the giant big move up here from all the way down at 30 to 43 consolidation, and then back up into the 60s was the initial play that we had on this chart. It was based around the 4 hour from what I remember. Just going to have to go back in time a little bit now just to show that move. And again, it's the standard stuff that we do on this channel all the time, all the bloody time. So what we do is we see a nice big pump, we wait for we're patient. We wait for the consolidation. We look for horizontals. We got a horizontal. We've got a golden cross. We see if there's reactions around the golden cross. Golden cross on the exponentials failed, but the simples held. All of these areas were
entry points. So between roughly around 32 and about 33, which is really nothing, to be honest with you, was the entry point. And then you quickly saw the price get close to 100% move, so almost doubled in price. Now, I felt like this was a decent hodl. You don't need to have too many of them. If we're talking about BSV entering into the several $100s later on down the line, it seemed reasonable just to allow this one to play. A lot of the time this trades at very low volume, despite being, from what I can tell, a blockchain with utility. It's got a bit of a douchebag who's leading the show, but who cares about that? Everybody's a douchebag, aren't they, really? Let's face it. Most people are douchebags. So what does it matter if Craig Wright is a douchebag? It doesn't matter to me. I follow the chart. So yeah, we're looking quite good on this one. So again, we've had another big bold move up, which was even more bullish than the last one, really, because this time round we were supported on a 50 exponential moving average, didn't even touch the 200s. We supported on the 50 exponential, and now we're up. And from what it looks like now, from the last retest, which was here, we're up over 100% this time. So even bigger than the first initial pump when the volume was extremely low. The second pump around, more or less from where, the close to the previous local high, has pumped now over 100%. Awesome stuff. Again, don't fall down the rabbit hole of buying what everybody else thinks is cool. If you learn to trade, you can basically sack all that off, really. It just because some fresh-faced 20-year-old with curly hair and nice clothes and a decent 4K camera is talking about something on YouTube doesn't mean that he knows what he's talking about. Now, I don't know what I'm talking about. I apply the same analysis to any chart, whether it's crypto, commodities, indices, stocks, whatever. You can basically apply the same analysis over it, and a lot of the time, not all of the time, profit from that. And BSV is a good example, because actually, if I remember rightly, when I was talking about alt seasons all that time ago, it was probably about 5 months ago now, and people were in absolute shock and disbelief, vomiting onto their keyboards into the comments. The first thing I was talking about, or one of the first things I was talking about, was the BSV move. And there you have it. It basically did a 90% move in the face of Captain Noobmaster and all the trolls. And here we go again. So, from entry point, really, to where we are right now, my hodl bag is up 200%, 220%. Again, it's not a massive hodl bag, but you're looking to deploy capital into low prices on something like BSV. I would be looking for this to enter into the several $100 zone by the end of the cycle, and considering it's already at $100 now, its previous high, I think, on the last cycle was about $400, I think. I can't quite remember exactly. $500. It seems pretty reasonable now that over the next 2 years that we will be getting back up to that level again, and probably even higher. So when you think about it in that sense, buying down here at $30 to $35 and selling between $400 and potentially $800 is actually a decent play, really. So there you go. But right now I think we can still go a little higher. We're pushing these major resistances right now, and I think the main resistance is probably around 149, 150. That would be like a major resistance on it. But again, a change of behavior, which is very welcome. We haven't seen changes of behavior on some of these coins like this or ICP ever, or at least for a very long time. And this is quite reassuring. And finally, I'm just going to end on VRA, which is actually a really good looking chart. So we made this, some of the guys on the Patreon were buying down here. I was kind of uncertain of it. I wasn't quite sure of it, but some of them did it, and they are laughing all the way to the bank. I didn't do it. I started to trade this back within the triangle because the triangle looked good. We had a cupping handle as well. We had pump signals and trend signals in the Itchy Cloud. Everything was looking good, so we made this. I made the second portion of the trade. Now I sold around here and I bought back on this dump. I know this sounds a bit idealistic looking at the chart, because Captain Hindsight is always a perfect trader. But, if you're on the Telegram, you'll probably have heard me say that I bought some on this dump, and the reason for it, 200 exponential. That's a golden cross retest. So if you ever get a chance to buy a golden cross retest, so long as you believe that there's going to be, especially with crypto, if you believe that the market is stable enough to support and not actually come down as one giant crypto crash, then yeah, that's almost always a good idea. The chances of at least a decent bounce, if not a V-shaped recovery, are very likely from those areas. And this wasn't just a golden cross retest, was it? This was a retest of the descending trend line of this symmetrical triangle. So there you go. So up and away. It's not actually gone on and done anything quite amazing, not quite yet. But we'll be looking for this one to break out of what appears to be already another triangle formation. It's messy, so I haven't drawn it in. Really, I'm just focused on the trend. The trend is still up, and we're looking to break out of a consolidation. And at the moment, we've reclaimed the 20 moving average, which is still facing down, so it's yet to pick up its pace. And we have not crossed above a 0 point yet, but as far as the momentum is concerned, it matches price action. So given a little bit more time, it should perk up from this. Now you can really start to feel particularly bullish once closing above 0.75. 0.76 of a cent, because on the 4 hourly at that point we'd be above all the moving averages of significance. We should have also made a positive crossover here as well. So a little bit longer to wait on this one before we can give it the royal seal of approval, but based on the daily and the strength of that bounce, as exactly where it should have bounced from as well, suggests to me that the buyers really have stepped in, and there is demand on this one, and it's demand at the right place. This is no coincidence to see a giant wick bounce from that exact area. It's no coincidence. That's standard TA as far as I'm concerned. That is exactly what this moving average represents. This is why I have it in such a bold, clear colour. You know, it's effectively the fattest moving average I've got on the chart. It's nice and white on a black background. It's very important to trade in, and as you can see, a nice big bounce from it there. So I'll leave it with you there. The patrons will be back on next month. I took a bit of time off at Christmas because, you know, friends and family and travelling around and stuff like that, so it's not possible to have done it, but we'll be back on next week. So if you want to join the Patreon, there's links in the description below. It's £7.50 a month, 2 live streams a week. I think it's pretty good value, to be honest with you. You can ask me whatever you want of any chart that you like. Outside of that, though, if you just want to leave me a comment of a chart that you want me to look at, and if there's something worth talking about, I'll talk about it. But other than that, though, it is New Year's Eve. I'll be in bed by 1 minute past midnight, and we'll be back here tomorrow with a normal video. So hope you have a nice day. Happy New Year. Take it easy.